Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout of the evening. Elimination boxing bout scheduled for 3 2-minute rounds in the super middleweight division. Introducing first, out of the blue corner, Colin Fisher.
All right, third fight of the evening. And Jared, whenever you have a fight, you have a physician that's here at ringside. And then after the fight, checks out both fighters, make sure they're all right. Want a little bit more time. So that's why we delayed a little bit going into this third fight. So the third fight is up and rolling, 170-pound boxing. Both debut fighters, but we've seen one before.
Man, I love watching debut fighters. I mean, they're undefeated. They've never experienced loss before, so they're going to fight accordingly.
True enough.
I lose at home all the time, man. I'm not the decision maker. I'm telling you, I tried like yesterday.
Through age, you gain caution.
I bring it up. You'd think that I'd know it by now, almost 6 decades or more than that. You think I'd know that. I don't. But she told me today, so there you go. All right, Colin Fisher from Calculated Violence. Sounds like a metal group.
There you go. How very 80s.
Yeah, that's a big 80s with the 80s hair, but that's not an 80s hair. That's more Jarhead, right? 170-pound boxing, 3 rounds, 2 minutes, and
his opponent, out of the red corner, Parker Ford.
JR, we've seen Parker many times before, and a great story of just, he used this to get into shape. He was 370 pounds when he came to Colorado. He's now 170. He's gotten down to 165 before. It completely changed his life, and he owes it to the sport of combat sports is the reason why.
Fantastic. What a great life change. Representing War Dog Muay Thai this evening.
The Summit County Sasquatch, one of my favorite nicknames. Tail of the tape, JR.
We got Colin Fisher from Lincoln, Nebraska. He's the 20-year-old boxer making his debut at 6 feet tall, 170 pounds, facing off against the aforementioned Parker Ford out of Frisco, Colorado. He's the 33-year-old mixed fighter making his debut, coming in at 5'11", also 170.
This tail of the tape sponsored by Sparta Auto 360. You want it done right? SA360Denver.com.
Fisher coming out of Lincoln, Nebraska.
Ladies and gentlemen,
my backyard.
This is an elimination boxing bout scheduled for 3 2-minute rounds in the super middleweight division. Let's meet our fighters. Introducing first, fighting out of the Mike Maroney Ford blue corner. He's a boxer making his debut. He stands 5 foot 11 inches tall, weighing at 164 pounds. With Calculated Violence from Lincoln, Nebraska, Colin Fisher. His opponent, out of the Castle Rock Hormone Health red corner. He's a mixed style fighter making his boxing debut. He stands 6 foot tall, weighing at 168 pounds. With War Dog Muay Thai from Frisco, Colorado, Parker, the Summit County Sasquatch Ford.
Came in 2 pounds under. How about that?
Listen up. This is his belt line.
The weight cut went well.
Yes.
Any questions? Let's touch him up. Let's take care of business.
I know. Drew was talking earlier how every single person in population Nebraska, everybody's tough down there. They go to school uphill both ways. You know, the whole thing. They shovel with like wooden spoons.
There's something in our water. We're fighters for sure. So
Parker usually mixes it up when he's in MMA. You know, he goes for it.
Fisher is establishing that jab and good footwork.
He's making himself a little shorter, punching up a little bit. Seems to work. A lot of firepower and many shots.
Yeah, Sasquatch needs to start just moving his head. I mean, he's going to hide those punches and keep him safe. If you notice, Fisher here is just constantly moving left and right and getting his head off center.
And I think the footwork is so important with power too, Drew, as far as what kind of shots you're giving him. Footwork's not right, they're taps.
Right. Also, like, Fisher is not really committing too much to any one punch, which is allowing him to touch often.
Yeah, doubling up his jab very nicely as Fisher.
Yeah, just pointed that out, JR. Nice note there because it worked. Ford's got the reach. Let's see if he can use it because he's going up against some speed and Fisher sneaking in.
I am a fan of Ford's gladiator shorts, though. I mean, I never got behind the baggy boxing pants. However, does below the belt change based on these shorts, though?
You wonder. I think that's why he pointed it out in pre-fight. This is the belt line. 28 seconds left in this opening round. The volume has definitely been Fisher. Ford's got to figure it out.
Well, Ford's starting to get the hang of it. He's actually finding a home for a lot of these punches. He's starting to find the rhythm.
Yeah, he double punch there with the right hand. Came back right after it. Both fighters kind of fight in the range here.
Yeah, Ford a little bit stationary in his footwork, and when he does move, it's pretty much straight lines. Whereas, excuse me, we're seeing Fisher cut some angles a little bit more. That's allowing some openings for him.
Drew, not a ton of power there. I mean, some good punches, but not a ton of power.
But I mean, I think these guys are trying to figure it out, right? Yeah. Which, I mean, ideally, I think I want them to start using this to set it up, right? You pepper, and then you put an exclamation on at the end of it. So maybe in the second round, I'd like to see a little bit more heavily committed shots.
Right.
Agreed.
Great night here, standing room only, as we hit Fight Night 19, our first of the year for Sparta Sports and Entertainment. We have MMA tomorrow night, 11 fights, and then March 8th, the grand day of them all. No, not Cheyenne. It's in Loveland, Colorado for ABM 16, Army versus Marine. Get your tickets now at SpartaSC.com. All right, seconds out, second round.
All right, they found the groove. I want to see some heavy shots now.
That was a premature bell ring, by the way.
Yeah, get that cornerman stool out of the ring.
Nice little right and an uppercut by the Sasquatch.
Yeah, see if either of these guys elects to start stepping on the power button a little bit more.
I mean, they're already right back to work and actually landing some heavier shots. Fisher back to the head movement and footwork, but Sasquatch, I mean, really using his length.
Elbow almost hit up there.
I think both fighters would pay dividends, you know, if they go down to the body. They're both just head hunting.
Yeah.
We change the level up.
Great point. Go to a little body shot. I think it would be a surprise to the other fighter as well.
Oh.
Got him on the break almost. That was good. He smiled a little bit. Fisher got caught. Punch missed. They look good on the combination. Ford's using his length a little bit, but he takes a jab.
Yeah, Ford should just drop a punch down to the body because he's kind of punching over the top of Fisher's head.
Something maybe his corner will address when the seconds
there
are out.
We go.
Combination there by Fisher.
Ford finally landed a body shot. And
there's
second
another one. Maybe he's listening. Going to the body. Third one.
Now after you go to the body, then, you know, come high and find that chin.
25 seconds left in this second round. Anybody's fight. It's close. Ford trying to find a combination here instead of just one punch.
Fisher definitely the more volume-heavy fighter.
For some combination work, but again, not a lot to it.
I think it's fun. I think Ford comes from like an MMA background, right? He's done, right? So I think Fisher is just not used to that movement because it's different. And like, I can tell Fisher does boxing. So he's working that head movement, but he can't find Ford's rhythm.
No, and again, movement is different between the different arts. And this is his first boxing match. We've seen him plenty of times in MMA.
That we have.
There's somebody said about being unorthodox and how frustrating that can be.
Yeah.
And both guys had really good moments in that second round. JR, how are you seeing Fisher in the third round making adjustments?
I think he just needs to keep with the volume attack. He's definitely outpacing Ford, and I think if he continues with that, he's going to pull ahead on points for certain.
Yeah, Drew, the other thing is, too, is being a seasoned fighter like you, when you take instruction in the corner, you understand what that's about, what needs to change. When you're a fighter that's like trying something for the first time, sometimes those things don't ring true until you get in that film session and actually see them.
I mean, it's hard. I mean, everything that you train in the gym comes out in the fight, and so it could be wrong, it could be right.
Yep. Ford's got to put the gas pedal on, is what he heard from his corner.
I mean,
and doing MMA, he should have the gas tank. I mean, he's from Summit County. He's Sasquatch roaming the hills, right?
Fisher finding a home for that jab pretty well with the movement.
I'd have to say Fisher's out pointing. Kind of a solid body shot.
Ford just a little bit stiff in his approach. His shoulders are very
square.
Yeah, non-flexible.
Very, very stiff. Footwork a little bit.
That's good. This is an amateur fight, so both guys are going to grow from this.
Uncomfortable, probably, JR. You know, because it's something different.
Oh, it's a big change-up from MMA.
I always think it's flashing your head. Take him down now. 57 seconds left right now. Ford's got to put on some volume.
The leg kick is open.
Go to the body. Good opening there.
45 seconds left in the fight.
I really am enjoying the amount of volume both these guys are throwing.
Yeah, they're both in shape. They're both throwing for sure. Oh, combination there for Fisher. Maybe the Nebraska thing is right. I don't know.
Yeah, Fisher started working the body a little bit more this round.
Yeah. 17 seconds left in the fight. Empty the tank now, boys. That 10-second clacker's coming. And there it is. It's actually like 11 seconds. But
Fisher's landing a good with the overhand with the lead hook.
Yeah. I think the volume what JR talked about doing the same thing, I think he did that.
Yeah, it didn't seem that anybody was really searching very hard for a finish. Just going to try to outpace each other. And I think Fisher was more successful in that.
In my experience, finding that finish is super difficult. So,
in boxing especially,
they might have been looking for it, but it just might not be there.
Well, a little different, Drew, because it's not 4-ounce gloves. You get those 4-ounce gloves, a few more finishes, which we'll see tomorrow night as we have 11 MMA fights tomorrow night. And what do we get the name of that? Violence? Calculated violence? No, that was one of the camps from earlier.
That's a
like a heavy metal band. But Parker Ford's active. I mean, he fights every 3-4 months. Oh, you're going to the media? You're going to the media pass to look.
Tomorrow is caged violence.
Caged violence. I knew it was something with violence. Calculated, caged. It had a C to start with it. I was close. Give it to me.
So much aggression in this sport. Calculated violence, war dogs, blood diamond.
Yeah, I mean, come on. You got to get through the blood dogs to get the war diamond to find it.
Ladies and gentlemen, after that 3-round battle, we go to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges have scored this bout 30-27 in favor of your winner by unanimous decision, COLLIN Fisher!
Congratulations, Mr. Fisher. Takes home the win for calculated violence. Now is undefeated at 1-0 as a boxer.
And as you said, Drew, the volume and JR, the volume was there. And, one Nebraska guy to the other, we got to put up with him for the rest of the night now, JR. The Nebraska guy won.